Let's now create our first maps. First thing that we need to know about map is that this is the form of key-value pair. This means that for each new object inside of our map, we will have a key which is like identifier for us. Also, each specific key will have specific value connected to that key. Keys are unique values, which means that we can't have two keys with same value. How we can declare our new map? Map is our new data type, which means that we will declare as normal variable. We will type specific definition of our map. We will write reserved word map. Then we will open brackets, and inside of our brackets we will specify data type which we want to use for our keys. In this example, we will use string. Then we will specify data type which we want to use for our values, which are connected with our keys. In this case, we will use integers. And after that, we will open our block. Length of our new map will be 0. When we print our new variable, we can see map with empty brackets, and in this case we need to remember that this map with empty brackets is a 0 state for map. Also, when we print type of our map, we can see that our definition is map, where our keys are strings and our values are integers. We want to know how we can add new key. We will access our variable, then we will write brackets, and inside of our brackets we will specify key which we want to use. After that, we will assign specific value to that key. When we again print our map, output will look like this. In this case, we add new key which have value Alex, and that key is connected with value 25. Let's now see how we can assign whole new map inside of our variable. We specified new map to our variable, and this new map has two keys, Mark and Sandy, and values which are connected with those keys are 10 and 20. Now, inside of our map, we can see two keys, and we can see that the length of our new map is now 2. If we need to remove all keys inside of our map, we can do that like this. In this example, we assigned new empty map with our built-in function make to our variable. Now, when we print length of that map, our length is 0. We can see that we again have 0 state for our map. Let's now explain the real usage of our built-in function make. For that, we will create new file. For this example, beside of FMT package, we will also use reflect package from our Golang language. Let's create two different maps in two different ways. First map, M1, is created with built-in function make. Second map, M2, we initialized with default writing. What is the difference between these two maps? Let's check if these two maps are equal. We will do that with deep equal function from our reflect package. Our result variable can be true or false. Our deep equal function will just check if these two maps are equal. In this case, our result is true. So actually, these two maps are equal. What is the difference? The real difference is that we need to know how we want to initialize our map. First map will allows us to initialize a length of specific map, and second writing will allows us to initialize values of that specific map. Let's write practical example. We have two new maps. Map M3 is initialized with make function, and the length of that map will be 2. With our map M4, we didn't specify our length. Instead of that, we wrote new key with new file inside of that map. Now, when we print length and values of these two maps, we will get output like this. The real question is, what if we declare, let's say, length 2 for our map, and then we assign 3 different keys? That means that we breach our number for the number of our keys. Let's assign new map with 3 keys to our M3 map. We breached the length of our M3 map. Let's now print new length and the values of our map. We can see that our map automatically changed our value of our length to number 3, and inside of our map now we have 3 keys. We want to learn how we can access specific keys, update them or delete them. We created a new map M1 with 3 keys. Values of that keys are 10, 20 and 5. We want to know how we can get value for key mark. Here we need to know that when we are accessing our map, we will always get 2 different values. First value will be value which is connected to our key, and second value will be data type Boolean. That second value will inform us that our key which we are targeting exists inside of our map. Let's create that form. First, we will write value. Then, in this case, if we don't need to check if that key exists inside of our map, we can just write underline. After that, we write our operator, then we access our specific map, and inside of our brackets, we are targeting specific key. Value of our variable value1 will be value which is connected to our key mark. When we print that value, the output will be 10. When we don't need specific value of specific key, and we only need to know if that key exists inside of our map, we will write another form, because in that case we don't need first value from our map. First we will write underscore, then we will write name of the variable in which we want to assign our checking value, and then we target specific key. Now we are checking if David key exists inside of our map. Result of our check will be false, because we don't have key David inside of our map. In case when we need value of specific key, but we also need to check if that key exists, we can write form like this. First value is 5, because that's the value which is connected with our key nick. Our second value is true, because nick key exists inside of our map. If we want to update value for, let's say, nick key, we can do that like this. First, we will access our map, we will target specific key, and we will assign new value to that key. When we print our map, we can see the updates. Now, let's see how we can delete specific key from our map. For that, we will use built-in function delete. We will write delete. Then, for first element in this function, we will pass our map which we want to use. In this case, this will be M1 map. And then we will specify key which we want to remove from our map. When we print our map with new updates, we can see that we don't have any more sandy key inside of our map. What if we have a case where we want to update specific keys which doesn't exist inside of our map? Let's do practical example. We updated Kyle key with value 17, but the problem is that we didn't have Kyle key inside of our previous map. In this case, if we want to update value of the key which doesn't exist inside of our map, that specific map will create that new key for us inside of our map. If we try to update another key which doesn't exist inside of our map, the pattern will be exactly the same. We wanted to update key David with value 11. David key doesn't exist inside of our map, but instead of that, our map will create new key with value David, and it will assign value 11 to that key. Now when we print our map, we can see David key inside of our map. Let's now see how we can assign our specific structures to values which are connected to our keys inside of our map. For this example, we will create a new structure, user. That structure will have two attributes. We want to create map where data type of our key will be string and values which will be connected to those keys will be data type user. Inside of our brackets, we will specify data type string. Data type for our values will be user structure. So now elements of our map will look like this. We can see that our keys inside of our maps have value 1 and 2. Value, which is connected to our key 1, is structure user with values David and developer. For our key 2, we connected our object of data type user with values Alex DevOps. When we print our new map, output will look like this. So now we want to know what we will get when we target specific key. In this example, value for key 1 will be user with values David and developer. When we get that specific value, output will be object of data type user. If we want to check if key 2 exists inside of our map, we can do like this. We want to know how we can update specific key in our map. First, we will access our map and we will target specific key. Then we will assign new user structure. After this, when we print our map, we can see that our second key now have value as data type user, and that object user has values Fred and developer. In case we want to remove specific key, we can do that also like previous example with built-in function delete. In this case, we deleted our key where key is 1, and when we print our map, we don't see anymore this key inside of our map. In this example, we saw how we can set up specific structure to our values of our map. Let's now see how we can assign our structure to our keys. For this example, we will create new structure, stuff, and this structure will have two attributes. Inside of our main function, we created two new variables, s1 and s2, where these two variables have data type stuff. we want to create map where our keys will have data type stuff. We can see that inside of our brackets we specified that we want to use structure stuff. After that, values which will be connected to our keys will have data type integer. When we print our new map, output will look like this. We want to know how we can get specific key from our map. Here we must be careful because our keys now have data type stuff, which means that when we are targeting specific key, we must target specific variable which have data type stuff. We can see that we access our M1 map, but we target specific stuff structure. In this case, we are targeting key, which is exactly the same like our S1 variable. So when we get value which is connected to our key, we will print value 300. If we want to check if specific stuff exists as our key inside of our map, we can do that like this. In this case, result will be true because object which we are targeting is exactly the same like the object which we have inside of our map, and that is, in this case, S2 variable. If we want to update specific value which is connected to specific key, in this case, we will target specific stuff structure inside of our map. When we print our map, we can see that value for our S1 variable, which is key inside of our map, is now 500. In case where we want to delete specific key, we will do that with built-in function delete, like in previous examples. But now, because our keys have data type stuff, we must specify object, which is exactly the same like our key inside of our map. We can see that our key S1 is now gone from our map. In case when we want to update value for specific key which doesn't exist inside of our map will create new key for us. In this case, that new key will have data type stuff. In this case, we didn't have key which is exactly the same like object with data type stuff and values Fred and C. When we print our new map, output will look like this. In the next video, we will start to talk about loops and iterations inside of our language.